opportunity to tell him that she was right.
Yep.
Or that he was going to break.
I don't, I don't think she genuinely don't think she remembers.
Well, then the case.
If Brad comes in.
Oh,
Hey Brad, how are you?
Good.
Good, all right. No, you're good, you're good. I went back to the bylaws and I'm like, yeah, I think we can do this. Terry, are you able to
What?
do the live mic?
Yeah, it's all, I think you're all
You're
good.
muted?
Do you want it muted?
No, I don't. Okay, Mr. Chairman, that's the forum.
Call the meeting to order. We have a quorum. Public comment period, if any?
Good.
No, okay. Approval of the minutes of the March
It should be
twenty
the,
twenty-four meeting.
that should be the April 2024 meeting.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I'll make a motion.
Do I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Speak director, turn it over to you.
Okay, so there are three resolutions in front of the board tonight that are requiring authorization. The first is resolution 10-24, authorizing the execution of a subrecipient and grant agreements with Greene County and Gray Willow Inc. Some background on this is that the county authorized the submission of a grant for Gray Willow Incorporated. It's a new microbrewery on Route 81 in the town of Coxsackie. They applied and were subsequently awarded about $190,000. With any CDBG activity that the county pursues, there's always a subrecipient agreement with the corporation. One of our founding principles was to put in place and implement CDBG projects that are applied by the county. This specific one would just authorize me, the executive director, to execute a grant agreement and all related documents with Gray Willow Inc. in the amount of $179,000 in accordance with the requirements of agreement to disperse CDBG funds. I do want to say that with the agreement that's signed between the county and the state, there's specific clause about conflict of interest, so any decision-making body and its members should disclose any conflict of interest that could include, but it's not limited to, having any functions or responsibilities assisted with CDBG funds and in a position to participate in the decision-making process of that, make any sort of financial gains or obtain a financial interest, the typical reasons of conflict of interest agreements. So I would recommend that if there are any recusals or conflicts to be made, make it clear for the record, just so that we can record it and move on to a vote.
Any conflicts of interest? Okay. We need a motion to approve this. We'll do them one at a time.
Yes.
We have a motion to approve resolution 10-24.
I'll move it.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Thank you very much. Okay, the next two, I'll just kind of group them together. I'd like to vote on them separately, just so we can have separate records for them. They're both authorizing the extension of eligible cost incursion term of two micro enterprise grant agreements. One is Storybook Hollow, that's 11-24. One is 12-24, that's for Catskill Bicycle Supply Company. So the agreements that we signed with each of these micros gives them about 6 months to incur the cost, submit all the documentation to us, and then we process it with the state moving forward. They have exceeded that timeline for, I know Chad at Storybook Hollow had some family stuff come up. The Catskill Bicycle Supply Company actually does not need to create the new job that was initially included in the application. One of the owners actually qualifies as LMI according to the 2023 tax returns. So before I can cut them a check or do anything, I'm waiting on those returns back just to prove it, and then we need more time to allow for that to happen. So these both, one expired in mid-May, the other expired in late May. They've been in a lockout period. There's been no costs incurred that they'll be submitting reimbursement for until I get them a commitment letter signed from us and from me saying that you know your term is extended for 3 months. But I'm recommending that we grant a one-time extension of the eligible cost incursion term for 3 months, set to expire September 12th, 2024. And that I'm authorized to execute an amended grant agreement and all related documents to finalize the approved motion.
Okay.
We have,
Yeah,
James, there's more information in the tax first 6 months or not?
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Can we get more in
You're breaking up, right?
23? Hold on. Sorry. Can you hear me?
Yep.
So they gave their 2023 tax return, right?
I'm waiting on that right now. They were approved, they were authorized. These guys were authorized they were authorized in November of 23. Is when we approved their grant application. We drew down in early 24. Oh, no, we didn't even draw down yet. Duh. So I haven't gotten their tax return yet, but that's what I'm waiting on.
And then do we request like a first 6 months of 2024 projections? All that stuff.
That's
I
all-
didn't look at that stuff.
All the projections, we require 3 years outlook in the original application.
And they updated that since the last request,
No, we haven't gotten any updates or any new financial information since we approved their application.
Yeah.
But if you'd like, I mean, with any of these loan closings, grant agreements, whatever, the applicant is required to submit documentation with the quantum loan funds, and those loans that we gave out, I typically have to do an annual job reporting period where I have to, look at the income forms. We don't need to go to that level with this, but until our term expires with them, expires with the state, I can ask for tax returns every year. I can ask for that year's actual financials, and I can also throw in projected ones too. We kept the language broad enough in the grant agreement that I can request and they have to deliver financial documents.
okay. Do I have to check about conflicts of interest on these two as well?
No, that was originally established when we did the subrecipient with the state.
Okay. We have a motion to approve 11-24.
If there is a conflict of interest, with these, actually recuse yourself as you would any other ones, but of course, we don't need to put it on the record unless it's there.
Motion for 11-24.
I'll
Make-
move it.
Do a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Thank you. Okay, 1224 is the same thing, it's just for Casco Bicycle Supply Company.
We have a motion to approve 12-24.
I'll move that.
I'll
Do a
second.
second. All in favor?
Aye.
Excellent.
Opposed? Carried.
Okay, that concludes our voting session. Brad, I know you have to jump, so I think we're good for a quorum now.
Aye.
All right, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it.
Good talking to you. Okay, Executive Director's report.
Yeah, we've been busy. We are finalized our senior housing study, the addendum to the workforce housing assessment that we did. Legislator Lovera asked us to specifically look into senior housing, sort of what's there now. We really wanted to find the shortage. So me and Thomas and the girls from Human Services went around the county to about 12 different facilities, interviewed them, asked them a series of questions. We got all their characteristics in the chart, shifted over to our consultants, and then they made a report out of it, presenting it tonight to the legislature.
Okay.
But the main takeaways are that right now, 36% of all Greene County households are represented by seniors. That number is going to rise to 40% in the next 5 years. At the same time, we have a contracting household amount of so with that contracting, we're going up by 40 basis points. We're dealing with an aging population. So that's that.
Now, I mean, to interrupt, what's the threshold for senior? 65?
Yes. 55, 65, usually it depends on what metric you're looking at. For the households that we are looking at, it's 65 plus.
Okay.
About 31% of all senior households across the county are considered cost burden. That includes both folks who rent and live and own their units. On a statewide average, about 12% of all senior households are going to choose to live in some sort of age restricted housing, typically a 55 and up community. And those can be either owned townhomes, it can be just as long as it's age restricted. And they typically have different accommodations for a variety of physical limitations, and there's a number of reasons why seniors are choosing to do this, but on a statewide basis, it's about 12%. Greene County share of that whole same metric, the amount of senior households that are in age restricted units versus the total amount of senior households across the county is about 2.7%. So states at 12, we're at 2.7. As of right now, there are 323 age restricted units across the county, either filled or available. If they're available, it's a very small amount of those. You can count them on one hand, probably. There's a 2-year waiting list across the county to get into these places. So taking that 12% metric, if we're going to try to be comparable with the rest of the state, taking that 12% metric, applying it to the amount of senior households there are in Greene County right now, we're short about 1,092 units right now. In 5 years, it'll be about 1,200 units. In 10 years, it'll be about 1,500 units. So what we're aiming to do, of course, I look for silver linings, is I'm arming myself with this study, and I'm just peddling it out to any developer that will really look at it. So we started talking to a group last year called the Markstone Group, and they're about to finish up a 250 units age restricted facility in town of Guilderland. It's an age in place sort of project. And when I'm reading their press release, this is after the study was finished, we knew what we wanted to find out. I read their press release about it almost being done. The metrics they're looking for is what's the demand, what's the percent of population, what's the percentage of distress or cost burdened, and we have all that stuff finally at our fingertips. So now we can see that's exactly what the developers are looking for validation. And I've been in touch with about 5 or 6 just since before leaving for vacation. So pushing it out there, we're trying to find some developers that want to do this, but this is also going to allow the legislature to see that yes, there's demand. Construction costs right now to build projects are making what used to be feasible completely untenable. It's just too high. So you have to pack in some sort of incentive packages and a few tax credit programs that we otherwise would not be going after. We just know that there's not support capacity for it. Still can apply to doing a senior housing project because the affordability levels are the same. So it's going to allow the legislature to see that these tax credit programs can be useful. And I think starting with the seniors where everybody can be on the same page about we need to do something here. I think it's going to allow the legislature to fully realize what's in front of them now. So we've been doing a lot of that. We are trying to gear up another round of micro enterprise funding since we allocated everything else. I've got 3 people who are waiting to draw down, the 2 that we did today, then Hudson Valley Crusaders. Once we get through that, we should be good to go after some more funds. Yeah, what else? Oh, did we talk about the EPA? Told you about that. The county was awarded $1.5 million for coalition assessment, which will essentially canvass, assess, inventory both counties for potentially contaminated properties so that we can start to prioritize them and really understand what the ownership structure is like, their willingness. Essentially, it's a really effective metric to help us put some inventory on the map so we can start attracting developers to sites. So we have been working through the grant agreement for that, and I can probably give an update on another project after the legislative meeting tonight that I'll be presenting, but that will likely take up the majority of my time. So yeah, that's it.
That's it.
Only that.
Only those.
We golfed this month. Yeah.
We did.
We haven't
Did
been since the
Terry,
chamber golf.
James and I and Chris Nardone, the executive director of the workforce board, participated in the Greene County Chamber Golf Tournament. It was incredibly fun.
Yeah, it was cool. Did you guys open your office yet?
No, well, we are there. Jeanette's had a couple appointments. So the college is closed for the first week in July. So the staff doesn't.
Oh,
So that's been, we're still gonna, when we come back, the schedule will be a little bit more finalized. We're doing it by appointment now. by September, we want to have a full schedule flushed out. Summer's hard, we all have vacation time we have to use by the end of August. And we have the GED testing, which has been, there's been a phenomenal response to that. It's on Mondays right now. We had 16 scheduled this last Monday. So I'm getting more people trained from the college side to Proctor so that my expert staff in the workforce office can be working with, you know, customers. But we've had, I think, about 3 or 4 appointments in Catskill so far, and that's without a big launch. So
That's
we're
awesome.
putting the word out.
Mhm.
If you have people locally that need our services and getting to Hudson is an area, I can leave my card. We can set up those appointments with them now. You know, throughout the next month and a half before we have like those full final hours. So we're happy to come across the river and meet with someone. We're super flexible with that. So
When are you looking to do a bigger launch?
September.
Okay.
That's why I want to get a hold of Pam and we want to do a ribbon cutting. We think after the summer vacations are over, we also know a lot of people locally are away and their kids are home and priorities shift, right? So, but kids are back to school, September. We want to be kind of just open every day to the public.
Yep.
Right now, like I said, we still have we've got to get our computers over for the participants to use because we have computers that we're gonna set up for the public to come in and utilize for when we're doing resume help or if they just need to research, you know, job postings and we help them through that. So
That's great.
yeah, we're really excited. We got the furniture together. That was all delivered, I think, about a week and a half ago. So you can peek in the window if you're walking down Main Street and see it. And everyone will be invited to the launch. We will be having the July Workforce Development Board meeting in the Catskill office.
Good.
As a way
Nice.
to
Great,
introduce
yeah,
the board
that's good. Yeah.
to the space and, you know, kind of just get everyone on the board acclimated to before we fully open to the public.
Perfect.
That'll be very easy. You can walk right across the street.
I know it's my excuse to miss meetings now.
So they have-
Where's Pam's new office up in Jefferson?
I was just gonna say that, yeah, they're up in Jefferson Heights, so you know when you go into Green Medical Arts Building, and there used to be that pharmacy in that house, a 2-story house right there, right there. So they're in there
And they're just moved in now. They're
Yeah.
moved in fully.
today.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, so.
Yeah.
She said in the post that it was appropriate because it was green and that house is white, isn't it?
Well, you know what, I don't know, I think it's white on the bottom and green on the
I'll have
top,
to
maybe, or
check when I
something
go
like
through
that.
tonight.
But that's interesting.
Cause I couldn't figure out where there was a greenhouse up there.
Well, maybe she means it's green where they have all the no electric hooked up.
Yeah.
and
Yeah, energy efficient.
energy efficient and,
Solar.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I will tell everybody on a personal note, though, that the Catskill Splash Pad will be opening up very, probably by the 4th of July weekend.
Wow.
Oh, great.
We have a ribbon cutting plan for July 27th, though.
And the temperature will probably drop into the
Oh, yeah.
seventies.
Yeah, right.
When does the summer brackets will go?
Speaking of the hospital, Green Medical Arts Building, I recently missed a meeting that I needed to have with the president of the foundation. They're doing an expansion of that building.
Okay.
I think the surgical center that was gonna be down, they were looking at exit 21.
Mhm.
They're gonna
Oh.
be there, they're gonna build that.
That was
that building.
Wasn't it an oncology thing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
some inpatient, outpatient,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I do need to speak with her about some of the details, but the renderings are gonna completely transform that building,
Yeah.
so that'll be nice.
Yeah, the real old second floor and third floor. They're just not using that at all. It's really run down. You can see it from some of the offices. up
Yeah,
there.
I haven't.
So hopefully they're gonna redo that. It's where I used to work back in the
I
sixties.
And I learned that the Cumberland Farms on Bird Street, closed, or
Yeah.
9W closed.
I
Yeah, West
learned, I
Bridge
knew that
Street.
they were going to be closed.
It did,
They
it closed
closed.
yesterday, I think.
Oh, it
Okay.
did?
Yeah.
Okay, I had somebody ask me about it and I was like, I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
Probably gonna be a quick check now.
Are there employees?
Somebody said
transferring?
today that they were,
Yeah, they're going over to Jefferson.
Okay.
it was gonna be a 7-Eleven.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's the same type of
because if they
store.
weren't transferring, it, send them to us.
I think
Yeah.
it's
Difficult
Right,
to
you
do
know,
that,
especially if they're knocking it
gas.
I
down.
know,
Yeah.
it is, yeah.
I believe that,
It's not gonna be a Wendy's.
no.
Dream on.
There's been some concepts of Wendy's floating around, but everything is too expensive right now.
Yeah,
developers are
Yeah.
just not biting into
we
it.
really don't need another food burger.
No.
I want
Have
I want
salads.
Chipotle.
Yeah,
I want Chipotle.
Return Brewing though,
Oh, it'd be
Hudson
nice.
is going to be coming over, is going to Crossroads.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
really?
which is a really good thing, at least now we have, there just won't be a manufacturing,
yeah.
there for the, for the beer, but they're also.
They're not gonna be manufacturing beer over there?
No, they are, but it
Oh.
will only, they were originally just going to just do manufacturing there, but now they're gonna open it up to a tasting room and food trucks again and music and, very similar to Crossroads, but
Yeah.
yeah, but by them moving or bringing their production over here, it's like they're doubling their capacity for their beers.
Are they open in Hudson?
Yeah,
They
yeah,
are.
they're very, and their beers are really different, creative. They use a lot of kind of, other fruits, a little bit different than your typical average brewery. So that will be good that that's not going to be a lost
Yeah.
empty
Yeah.
space,
Yeah.
Their beer's good, but I do love Centaurs.
And on Main Street, we have a wine tasting room opening up. That's
Really?
supposed to be opening, I think, this week, the 28th, which is right next to your office.
Oh, gee. Wow.
The guys that own City are taking that pop-up gallery space that was next to they're putting a liquor store in there.
Really?
We started talking about that too.
Okay.
It should be good. I said you'll have a lot of business from the county.
Yeah.
I'd love to connect with the brewers, because I've been. I mean, I love the idea of doing a microbrews.
Mm.
Doing education side, and potentially, looking into options for even certificate programs in that
Nice.
kind of area, so.
Things are happening.
Yeah,
Any
Let's see
word
what
on
you
the
did there.
stewards, when they're gonna open up?
September.
It's a Verizon pole. It still needs to be moved.
Yes,
And they're
correct.
looking
And
to open Labor Day weekend or
Yeah, I
for
heard
Labor Day
September.
weekend.
And then I heard something even later than that too, so let's hope that September is.
Well, at least it got the Catskill Community Board off the county's back because
Mhm.
we just kind of pinned it to Verizon.
Yeah, yeah.
Any word what's gonna go in the old stewards then?
Tourism center.
Tourism.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's gonna be totally
that's-
renovated, it's
yeah.
not gonna look like a Stewart's, but
Yeah.
it's gonna
That'd
look
be
like
great,
Cumberland
right off
Farms.
of
tourism is back here now. And we're,
Yeah.
again, for the
Which is
economic
not-
development.
Okay,
regional
yeah.
development.
Mhm.
So they're
Coming
coming
right
right
off
here
that
for a good year now.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be a good spot.
Yeah.
But
It's a nice design too, I think. It kind of looks like an old barn
Yeah.
type thing.
Yeah,
It just fits right in with the.
I'll wait for my economic development satellite office to be built on the mountaintop someday, but.
Well, I won't be around.
Yeah, when's your last day?
The end of December.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not right, yeah.
Hmm.
And
How many years?
12,
12.
yeah. That's enough.
You'll miss.
Maybe I'll stay on this board as another,
I think we could probably keep you in here.
yeah, what warrants they could.
All right, yeah, I'm sure, but I think we need a new designee from the legislature.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think we have one designation that's still open.
For this board,
Yeah,
yeah, we have
Yeah.
an open spot.
Yeah.
I
okay,
just-
well, better vote for
Any
it.
any idea who would be the new chair of that committee?
Of the economic development, I don't know. Haven't heard anything about it.
All right,
I would think Sherry True would probably be,
thought Sherry might be interested in
I don't know if she'd be interested, but I think she'd do a good job.
it. You know how it starts, you don't have interest. in it.
Yeah. Yeah, she doesn't chair a committee yet, so. might
It's her
be-
turn.
Depends on what happens. Ed Bloomer.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
got in the primary.
Yep. The hell,
Wow, that was a little surprising.
Yeah. it
Oh, yeah.
was. Yeah. Did Darrell Lake have to do that?
I don't think that he's, no, we're not, I don't think that he's. Getting primary, I think that he's getting in the general and a lot of competition.
Oh, okay. Okay, just have a Republican.
Yeah, I think he's gonna.
Okay.
With the same last name.
I know. yeah,
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Really?
That's gonna be confusing to people.
Yeah.
It's like she's like a cousin-in-law or
Yeah,
something. I
yeah.
met her the other
Right,
day
right.
at the chamber event.
Yeah.
This is
yeah.
fun.
Uh,
That was a shame about Gary Nicholson
oh,
Yes.
yeah.
passing. I met him 28 years ago for the first time,
Wow.
and he had told me, Mark, I got 1 year to live, and that's what they're giving me. And here, he beat the odds.
Oh, yeah.
What what do you have?
Oh, he had everything.
Yeah.
You name it, he had it.
Deficiency,
Yeah.
but yeah, so he did not have a real long life expectancy.
No, not at all.
And Ron Clancy passed away.
Yeah, that was, yeah,
Oh, okay, yeah.
yeah. So Gary services, I think, are at,
Sunny
Sunny
Hill.
Hill on
Mine-
Saturday.
There's somewhere.
Nope.
Anything else to come before,
I don't know, something at some point, maybe, but. I don't think that we're gonna need to meet in July. I don't have anything really on the agenda.
Mhm.
We'll do better going back to Wednesdays. We're having an awful time getting arms.
Yeah, we really are.
That just didn't happen.
I know it's the
before.
summer and stuff, but. I don't know. I'll
Well,
talk.
even,
I'll talk to
even
you.
before this, even before that, we were, seems like the last 3 months we've had trouble.
There's time-sensitive things, so.
Yeah, I'll talk to Warren and see what the best move is, cause.
Yeah,
We have it on a specific day, and we're already kicking someone out, then but. I know it's useful for, and when it's in line with the legislative meeting,
yeah.
so.
Is that a switch in the time?
Is there?
Maybe
an
like
option
morning
to
or
have
something?
people-
Noon or something, what?
You
Yeah.
said it seems like there is an option that people call or potentially zoom in.
Yeah, so our bylaws say that.
Forum if necessary, is
Yeah,
that?
our bylaws say that and video conferencing is allowed as long as it's good, as long as it's. Copacetic with enough for profit law in New York State as well as. The ABO,
That's because that's what we had to start doing for the workforce board.
yeah, I
For the
think,
days that we needed votes.
Yeah,
At least to get the quorum for the votes.
yeah,
You know, understanding that sometimes people are traveling, but can come in for 20 minutes.
right.
I think that's what we'll probably start
Yeah,
trying to do. It just makes it easier for people to get here. You get to the meeting at least.
yeah.
Maybe we can try a 9 o'clock meeting or something like that.
let's try a morning meeting. I'm okay with that too, just get it out of the way. Linda.
I'm only half out of bed by now. All
We'll see what we can do. We won't be here for this forum. Okay.
right.
Motion to adjourn,
Adjourn.
all in favor?
Bye.
Thank you.
Well, thanks.
You're welcome.
Okay.